Working from Home by Sam Kestral. Will women come when she starts a sex therapy business out of her back shed? Jo Clark is tired of her day job, loves
Only if
sex,
it's her back door.
and believes she has skills to offer women who are questioning their sexuality. So she starts a sex therapy business out of her back shed. Anything goes as long as both women consent. Does she have what it takes to pull this off, or will she find herself in over her head?
This is the first time I've sat down, besides the 2-minute drive to and from school, since I got out of the shower this morning.
Sounds terrible.
Oh, no, I take that back. I sat for like 5 minutes during the BMX show.
Darn the what?
The BMX show.
I
It
thought you
was,
said DMX, and I was like, DMX show? Still, BMX show is also a wild sentence. Uh,
yep.
well, you get to sit down and be prepared for.
What the fuck? We read this
I
time?
didn't write notes because I.
What was there to write?
That's what I'm saying. So, happy
You
special.
picked, I always want to say you picked this book.
I did, yeah. And you know what? I don't normally have a lot of misses, and well, this was one of those. But to defend myself a little bit, I did know that it was literally just an erotic book, and maybe, I don't know. There
I
was
still have
one book
so
where
many questions about that.
I honestly have a lot of questions.
I have so many questions about so many things. So I am just glad that it is June, personally, for me personally, and that, you know, we're getting to the end of school and I'm dunsies and, grades have closed. So we're just doing the fun shit. We had field day this morning and then we had a family barbecue and a BMX show in the afternoon. And I do want to say that it must take a lot of muscle to do the things that they were doing because I walked in on the taking of the shirts off when they were packing up.
Yeah.
And there was a lot going on. And I was like, you do not look 40, sir.
Did he look 20?
Mm, Closer to 30. I was not mad about it.
Oh, I don't,
The mustache
I
was
don't
gross,
know.
but I was not mad about the rest of it.
You're not a big mustache girly,
No,
so
I
I
need the rest
understand.
of it to go with it.
Mm.
The mustache by itself, I don't want no furry caterpillar.
Mm. A little jealous.
Yeah. I, I wasn't mad.
Um, I have a dragon on my shirt,
I fed a bearded dragon today.
and my
We're
cat
just
died.
we're just
So,
winning at 2025. I
um,
cried at work today. We're just all winning at 2025.
I didn't cry today, but obviously I cried yesterday. But that's kind of what happens when your
Not because someone
animal
took their
dies.
shirt off. It was a whole different, yeah.
No, I wouldn't imagine you would cry because someone took their shirt off.
No,
In happiness, maybe, if it was like that glorious looking, absolutely.
no.
Yeah, I
It's just been,
no.
I'm just, I just feel like this is a hot mess already, and we're here for the
But
ride.
you know what? At least my hair looks nice.
Yep. I'm
It actually
starving,
blends
so I'm just
really well
shoving.
together.
Yeah,
Surprise!
with
I
your
did
shirt
like,
too.
oh, that too. Yeah. Yay.
I'm
Um,
starving, so I'm
am
shoving
I ball
pretzels in my
makeup?
mouth, so I apologize. Yes.
That's about all I did today. I did read this book. For the record, it was about 30 pages long.
Yep.
Weirdly, felt a lot longer than that.
Yep. Did
I
I
have
know
a
what was
feel.
going on the entire time? Never.
No. Did I think that Ariel's gonna have a lot of comments? Yes. Do I have comments? Absolutely. Is this probably gonna be a really short episode? Yeah. Did I write
At least
notes?
she's prepared
No.
for my copious amounts of comments.
Yeah. So
Ooh, that's a
this
good one.
is part
Here's my tin.
apparently it's an FF erotica book, and it is like apparently part of a series of books. This first one is called Working from Home, and it has three stories in it. And I think there are three, and I think it's just like how her thing goes.
Are you sure there was three? I thought I only read two. Maybe I blacked out.
There's three called The Gardener, The Beginning, and The First Appointment.
Oh, that was considered a story. Okay.
I guess they're chapters, but they're technically stories in it. So
I didn't think that the her beginning part was like a whole story by itself. But yeah.
I, I don't know. Now, I just need you to know.
Therapy. I'm saying we're using that word strongly here.
hmm
Just saying. Right off the bat, we're using that word strongly.
I mean, yeah. And so the woman Joe, when we open the book, open like she opens her shed and
And
tries
her
to
legs.
open other women's minds. Um,
And legs.
that too. And she is pulling weeds. So she grows like flowers. Like she's got irises, she's got orchids. Orchids, though, it's
How does
kind
your
of like a
garden
key
grow?
word. Well, probably with cum. I don't know. And there is
I
a
wonder if she like
woman.
puts it in the water to and just kind of that's her magic
That's the
ingredient.
fertilizer. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. There can't be. I don't know. I, girl, I don't know. I murder plants, so. But there's a woman standing at her front gate, and she is hesitantly getting in there. And Joe sees her. And I do notice right now on this front page that Joe's name is spelled two different ways. And that was probably not on purpose. And she is like, "Oh, are you here for the
But don't call her
orchids?"
Josephine.
Nope. She's like, "Are you here for the orchids?" And the one's like, "Yeah." And Joe's like, "Okay, well, follow me." And so she takes this woman and she brings them to her shed and she brings them to
Her
the
she
back
shed.
shed. Her, it literally is her she shed. And she tells the lady, "Hey, listen, I'll be just a second." She goes out, washes her hands because, listen, she's been gardening. You got to have clean hands for what this woman is about to do. So she goes back inside and she locks the door, which does cause the woman to be like, excuse me. But she says, "Listen, I just lock it for privacy, but you can leave at any time. Do you want something to drink? Like beer, wine, water?" And she goes, "Listen, there are no rules here. No rules at all, except no means no, and I won't have violence." Which honestly, props for those because, at least those are good boundaries. But she does require payment in advance. What the fuck is happening, do you guys ask? Well, she makes 200 bucks a pop, which is crazy.
That was pretty cheap, honestly.
Honestly, I also thought the same thing. I'm like, wow, $200, that's it. And
Yeah.
like, all Joe really gets out of this whole deal is like she gets to fuck people.
I'll wait.
I have a lot of comments about that one, and I
Yep.
I have
Lots of
questions.
lots of
I have
questions, lots of
questions.
comments, lots of just
But so
not really sure
she
what's
ends
going
up
on.
making out with this woman. This woman's name is Kim. Mind you, we are 3 pages in. So we started. I did say at one point I wanted like just full smut, and I guess we decided 3 pages.
I don't know. Just mm,
You're
mm.
fine. So she's making out, then she backs this woman up against the wall. She unzips her, then she starts to play with her hands. And I guess so the woman had been questioning her sexuality after being married to a straight man for 20 years. And then mm, this sentence I'm just gonna state makes no sense, which is she brought her face to her hand and licked the woman's clit.
Yep. Yep.
So that
Lots of these
happened.
encounters didn't make much sense to me, but okay, I can't. Okay, so I don't generally read a lot of FF romance. So I might be the problem. I might be the problem. And if I am the problem, please let me know. However, I have read it before, just not very much. I had no idea what was going on ever during these intimate scenes. I had no idea what body parts were where. And honestly, 90% of the time, I wondered if this woman had a dick.
Okay, so
And they just didn't tell
same.
us.
Okay, so I'm just going to summarize this 30-page book real quick, and then we'll get into some discussions because this was a really struggle read for me. Basically, Jo has a business. Her business is women come to her when they're questioning her sexuality. Jo just really, really loves sex. And so these women want to try it out and see if maybe they like women. Cool. Sounds great. Fabuloso. Whatever. They pay her $200. She fucks them. They leave. Boom. Done. That's it. And that is literally every single part of this book. And I mean, it does go over
But it
like her
shows
very
two
first
different encounters that, she's
it
had.
shows a couple different encounters. It shows like the first time it ever happened and all this other stuff. So it does, there's not too much of a backstory. Realistically, all you need to know really is that's what happens. And she kind of, when she had first started it, she didn't think like her neighbors were kind of looking at her weird. So she goes, oh, maybe I should like pretend that I sell flowers. So that is with the whole do you want orchids thing. Like
Yep.
it's kind of trying to make
And
it
it goes
into
all
a
around in
business.
different
Yeah.
order. Yeah.
So the biggest thing for me is I do I don't read nearly as much FF books, but the ones that I have read, like especially that Emily Antoinette book, glorious,
Yeah.
beautiful book. Loved it. It was written so well. The sex scenes made sense.
Yeah.
And while I haven't read a lot, I have watched, lesbian porn because
But
duh.
but people
But they
leaving
make
reviews on
sense.
this book made me feel gaslit.
I didn't read the reviews.
I was so confused that I went to make sure that I wasn't the only one confused.
Yeah, there was a lot that went on where there were points where I definitely thought that the woman had a dick because of the verbiage that was
I don't care if
used.
she does, but
I don't care
tell
either.
us.
That's fine. But she didn't state that because then she would say they were rubbing their clits together. So then you're like, okay,
Yeah.
so maybe not. But she'd be like, "Oh, I have both hands on the headboard and then like I'm fucking into her." And I'm like, "Okay, do you have a strap on?" Like there
Right,
was
that's
a
what I mean.
lot of
Tell us about it. Do
disconnect.
you have a
Yeah.
strap on? Like, tell us.
This also kind of goes along with what we discussed the last time, which is it kind of felt like maybe they had AI assistants writing some of these really poorly just
Yeah.
because of the way that they're described. And I don't know if maybe we have decided apparently this is AI Smut Month or whatever the fuck this is going on, but this is yeah. But it's
But
just
most of the reviews I saw were talking about how spicy it was and how good the
if
scenes
I
were. And I'm like,
think
what? Who
I
read? Did I
think
read the same thing?
there was a lot of, to be fair,
It's,
there was a lot of spice because it was 99% spice.
but the spice
That's
made no sense.
and that's where I was going with the next point is that the spice literally made no sense. I did like her backstories and I liked having that thing, but I just wish
Sure. The
if we're
concept
going,
made cool,
the
but like, come
concept was
on.
good. I enjoyed the concept. I just wish that there was more focus on making sure that the actual scenes themselves made more sense. And there was spelling error, like there was a lot of errors throughout the book. The biggest thing for me is I knew reading and she also had a really big obsession with fucking people in the ass,
Hmm. Yeah.
which was an interesting choice.
Yeah.
it felt like the way that the scenes were described were from like a male wrote the scene, what he thinks happens with women.
Right. I mean, this person is
And for me,
calling
that
it
would that's
new lesbian erotica. So like, is that the different? Like, I don't know. Is that something different? I don't know.
what is there a difference between lesbian erotica and new lesbian erotica?
I don't know.
I need to ask a lesbian.
I don't know.
I do know
I was
plenty of them,
just
but
really
I
confused and
yeah.
I didn't understand what was going on. And I want to know what's going on. Tell me. And
That's
like,
the thing is like I had high hopes for
if
it
you're
because I was like
fingering
this it's a
someone,
good.
that's great. Tell me you're doing that. But just saying, and then I fucked her. With what? Your
Yeah.
imagination?
Yeah. It was
Well, like, what the what?
just the way everything was just described was not great. And it's sad because that's our final book of the Pride Month. So we have to redo Pride Month with like
I feel like
actual
we
good
struck
things
out
now.
like all over.
We tried so hard and it happens. We're not going to have perfect months and our episodes sometimes are going to sound like exactly what just happened. To be honest, 40-page book. It wasn't even 40 pages. It was like 30. I think it ended I don't even know. I don't even think it made it to 30. It ended on page 25.
Oh my God. And this person who wrote this, they say it's a gal, which I if you're gonna refer to yourself as that, I question if you're really a man. But they say that this gal writes children's books most of
What?
the time. Yeah.
See, in the about the author, it says she writes lesbian erotica and romance.
Yep. But under a different name.
Oh,
She writes children's books.
interesting.
Think it literally says in her bio, think of her as writing for the entire family. Just that line alone. She has something for almost everyone. That's the next line.
Is the
I-
everyone in the room with us? I'm sorry if we're being so mean. I just my mind is blown and not in the fun way that I would like it to be blown. Like, sometimes you want your back blown out. I just wanted my mind blown. I'd
I'm
also like my
just,
black blown out, but that's not happening anytime soon.
I'm just, wow.
Well, that is why I didn't write notes because I read it and I was like, I don't I don't even know what to do and this is probably one of our shortest episodes. So
Ay, yikes.
instead, we can I don't
Like,
know.
there are five novellas in this series, each following Jo in her rather dubious business adventure. She advertises herself as helping women who suspect they may be gay find answers to their questions in a very hands-on manner. There's a lot of sex in these short stories, all very well written. I honestly thought there would be a lot of redundancy in what was written, but the author kept the scenarios in each novella fresh and different.
Did we read the same book?
Jo eventually develops a strong connection with Avery, one of her clients, and starts to question the emotional sustainability of continuing the business as it is. That's in part four. I understand that there's a completed novel of Jo and Avery that picks up after part five. As lesbian fic erotica goes, this series is really good.
What?
I'm
I
saying that there's great, we are the problem, I wonder, because there's great reviews all over the place.
Oh my
Like,
okay.
I need to find the books that they recommend that what you read with, like, when Amazon will say, you should read this if you liked this book, and see if they're just the same.
Oh good Lord. Are you
All right,
ready?
this book is 30 pages, and we're just going to skip to the sex scenes just to look. So far, we definitely should have read this book instead.
Yeah?
30 pages. Hold on. Well, it's a massage that kind of turned naughty when she was like grinding against the table and then she
Ooh.
like got herself off and then she was like, I'm so sorry, embarrassed. And the girl's like, why would you be sorry? And now they're, yeah,
Okay.
now they're kissing and now they're taking off their clothes.
Here's a live reading, you guys. And then what happens?
But we're actually like getting descriptions. She's grabbing her breasts and she's teasing her nipples.
Okay.
Oh,
Already better.
yep. Her hand is touching her down there. We have confirmation that there's a hand touching her. Hold on.
Okay.
Now they're arguing about who wants to touch who because the massage girl was doing all the work.
Ah, yes. I've seen a porn like that once,
Yeah.
or twice, or more than that.
Oh boy.
Oh,
If you didn't think I liked this, there's one place you could check that wouldn't lie as she zips down her pants.
okay.
Yep.
Her hips don't lie. Just kidding.
Oh, now they're eating each other out. Hold on.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, words. Do you want me to finger you?
Ooh, perfect.
Yep.
So was the book that we read an experiment? Or like, are we just continuing fever dreaming? Like, is that what is going on?
Maybe. Because this is like normal to me. The other
Okay.
one was not.
No, 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 no.
So I don't
No.
understand the reviews.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
We should have
So
read this book.
it looks like we should have read the other book. You want to share with the class the name so that if they want to read it, they can?
It's called The Rub, and it's only about 30 pages. It's a very short FF sapphic experience.
Perfect. By the same author?
Nope. I wanted specifically not to get the same author. Hold on. By
Oh, see, I was
Chloe
thinking.
Slate.
Okay, so I was thinking that you were reading a book by the same author, and it.
No, no.
Oh,
I just picked where, you know how Amazon will be like, oh, if you liked
oh,
this, in like the same category of like,
got you. Okay.
because so this one is also considered, FF erotica. So I was like,
Okay.
okay. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't just like us thinking that that's like, because I know
Okay.
I've
I
read
was.
FF romance, but not necessarily a lot of FF erotica.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
got you. So it seems like
Oh, now she's got
that.
three fingers in her,
Oh,
but we have descriptions. So I mean.
okay, perfect. So it looks like do not read the book that we read. Probably go to the book that Ariel is currently reading and making a lot of faces at because she seems very interested in what is happening on these pages.
Claire didn't even let one finger slip out.
This is a half erotic reading of a book for you guys.
Now she's asking if she had a good massage.
I bet she did.
That was the end.
And she got a happy ending in the end.
That was actually, yeah, that was the end. I mean, I skimmed, but yeah,
Still. So, yeah, no idea.
we just picked a shitty book.
Yeah, and that's gonna happen. And honestly, like, it is what it is. So, we are taking requests. And if you have some for, like, I don't know, next Pride, that would be great so that we don't run into this problem again
Or
and
just
risk
in general, yeah.
offending an entire community.
Yeah,
Oh,
this one has
goodness
less
gracious.
positive reviews. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's so interesting. I'm
I wonder if
so
the other
curious.
lady has a fan club.
Maybe, maybe. That's entirely possible.
I don't know.
So we don't even have to discuss least and favorite, like least favorite, best I don't fucking words, characters.
My
I
favorite
liked the
character was the
plants.
neighbor, the
The
nosy
nosy ass
neighbor.
neighbor. Yeah. Okay. So the nosy neighbor or her plants. I liked the plants. Least favorite is Joe.
Yep. No,
Whether her name is spelled
my
J-O or
least favorite character
J-O-E.
was her invisible dick.
Yeah, I'm so curious. Like, if you're gonna utilize like a strap-on or
Strap
something,
on or something? I
say it,
want
say
to
it.
know.
And honestly, that would probably just up it a little bit and be like, all
Yeah.
right, cool, sounds
Toys.
great.
Cool.
Love,
Great.
yeah, incorporate the toys. That sounds like a grand old time.
Yeah.
Would I survive? Absolutely. I would do a fabuloso job. I don't even really, I know we have to rate this. I don't want to. I will though.
I gave it 1 star.
I was gonna do the same thing. Honest, it's just, it sucks because like the concept is there, but the rest of it's not. So Amazon gives it a 4.2 and Goodreads a 3.9. So take with that what you will. Survivability, I'd be fine. I would utilize a lot more things to have a good time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
happy Pride.
Pepper, I guess it's a shitty poblano.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of those that remember when we did the Thanksgiving book, or we're like, I would write it a little bit differently. They should have used the gravy and they didn't use the gravy. I'm still disappointed, but that's besides the point.
But it
We
wasn't
would rewrite it.
tragic.
No, but we were like, we'll rewrite it. This is something that needs to be rewritten heavily because this is
But
terrible. It was
the
terribly
entire point
written.
of the book was the sex scenes.
Yes, because it is an erotic book. Erotica
Ooh,
is
it's got an
sex.
average 2 star rating on.
Oops.
Oop.
Hold, please. I fucked up. Oh my God, stay on my computer. Sorry.
It's got an average 2 star rating on Storygraph. I told you those are where the real people are at.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I want to know
I always find like the like
why.
hardcore reviews there.
Yeah, the hardcore ones, Ariel.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. It's the way I like it.
Well, I think that's how Joe liked it, but I don't actually know.
No, we don't.
Oh, good Lord. Good Lord.
Let's see if anybody gave any actual feedback. Hold on. The only really actual review was just erotica, not really romance. But
Well, that's the
yeah,
whole point of it.
yeah.
I'm sorry, Joe Clark is a likable heroine. What?
No.
No. I feel like I'm being gaslit.
Yep.
I feel like these reviews are gaslighting me. So
That's what I said.
if anybody actually did read this or whatever and has feedback on if we are being gaslit or if like we're actually really nah.
Also, in honor of the end of June, we are finally getting a new Ruby Dixon Ice Planet Barbarian clone book. And in honor of that, I just want to shout out. I don't think you're caught up in the series, are you? Have you read any of the clone books?
It's
So,
okay. I can take my headphone. No, I can't take my headphone out
no,
because I still edit this.
but I just want to say 2 words to you. Umbrella Dick.
What?
So, okay. You've listened to us talk about this enough that you understand that there's the Ice Planet Barbarians and then there's the beach, right?
Hmm.
Okay. And then you know how that lady has been sending them random people in pods?
Yes.
So I think we told you that, or maybe I did tell you, maybe I didn't. At the end of the Ice Home series, she sends a crap ton of people in pods because they illegally made a bunch of human clones and were going to kill them.
Oh.
That's how we get more people. So the problem is most of them are women, though we do have a couple of splices and a male human. But who are they going to mate with? Oh, well, do you remember those weird, like, stone houses that they found and that's where they've been living in the place? Oh, they have more of those under the fucking mountain. Under the
What?
fucking mountain. And those people know of the other people. They just avoid them. And they keep their women behind a wall because they don't want the sickness to spread to the women and they want to protect the women, but they keep them behind a wall. And it's a whole thing. But those Ice Planet barbarians don't have the spur. Instead, their dicks have this like bulbous point that when they finish, it goes, and it was described as an umbrella dick until it comes down. So kind of like a reverse knot. I know. We've only had one book with one of the males. And now we're about to
Huh.
get a second one. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we may have sucked at Pride Month, but Ruby Dixon did it, and Ruby Dixon's amazing.
Right. So
I'll give
we can win on some level, right? I just blew Crystal's mind.
umbrella dick. Oh, and with that, June comes to a close, and August is coming, and this year is going. Nope, July is coming, not August, because that's not the next month. I'm skipping forward months, guys. I'm skipping July altogether.
That's okay. For July, we are taking it to the mountains. So we will, unfortunately, we will not be under the mountains with Ruby Dixon, but we will be going to the mountains with Mountain Men for July.
Yeah.
So join us next month and make sure to keep reading.
And keep it smutty.
Fastest episode ever.
Oh my God.
I need to print a retraction or record a retraction. Upon further review, actually, the next book is one of the splices, so it's not an umbrella dick. It is a new Ruby Dixon book, so yay! But not an umbrella dick. But more
Sorry to
in the
get your hopes
future.
up. Honestly,
Just read the last one.
having your
We'll fill it up.
expectations shattered was kind of the theme of this episode, so you're welcome.
On brand.